All right, all right, all right. So, welcome everybody. Beautiful. All right, so welcome guys, and it's another fantastic Monday afternoon over here. You already know the name is Adetola Freeman, and this is the weekly Forex market insight. All right, and as usual, you guys already know what we do on this session is basically to look through the financial markets, all right, and come up with trade ideas, all right, that we can, that we can follow throughout the rest of the trading week, all right. So, um, I'm just gonna wait for a few more minutes, all right, so that we get more people on board, right? Once we have, a few more people joining us, then we will start off fully. All right, but I want to believe that you guys had a fantastic, a remarkable trading week last week. Of all the commodities that we looked into, a whole lot of them actually played out really nice. Right, a whole lot of them actually played out really nice. And for those that didn't play out, I already mentioned that we were going to expect lower time frame confirmations before we hit before we hit the gas on those particular commodities. All right. I remember GBPAUD, if not others, because GBPAUD played out on Friday. All right, Thursday, Friday. GBPAUD gave over 240 pips. All right, from our analysis on Monday. Okay, so trust me, it's a remarkable one, and this week is not going to be any different. All right, so if you're with me tonight and you're excited to be here, I just want to see you drop a comment in the chat box. All right, just drop a comment, drop an emoji, drop whatever it is. All right, just let me be able to know how many people are following me right now. Yes, good afternoon, my friend Ali. Peter, it's good to see you. Iberi, it's good to see you. Yeah. Who else? Who else? Who else? All right. Owapo, it's good to see you. Guapo, yeah, it's good to see you. Augustine, it's good to see you. Manson, Kingsley Solomon, fantastic, fantastic. It's good to see you guys. It's good to see you guys. Lovely. So, my farm is here. Then we can go. Elijah, it's good to see you too. Ah, Kwake Emmanuel, I'm very well. Thank you, Emmanuel. And you? All right, guys, without further ado, let us get started. So, um, today, all right, Oliver, it's good to see you. I'm going to be adding something to our usual approach, all right? Oh, Banatex Pharmacy, good to see you. Good afternoon. Everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, I want you guys to watch my screen right now, all right? I'm going to be showing you guys something that you can add to the regular, the regular setup that we use. All right. I know that right now we use daily time frame line charts. Then from the line chart on the daily time frame, we go to the lower time frames for entry confirmation. But I'm going to be showing you an indicator that you can use. It's an oscillator, really simple to use. Um, that is the stochastics oscillator. And I'm going to increase the size this way so that you guys can. Okay, that's not working. I want you guys to be able to see the settings that I am using. All right, it is period 14, slowing 3, and then D period 3. All right, so it's a 14-3-3. All right, are you guys with me? So we're just going to add that the levels are 20, 80, and 50. Yes, so this is what we have on the screen right now. All right, I I really don't want to take too long trying to explain this, so I would appreciate if you guys can just flow along with me, all right, and get this as quickly as possible, because I don't think I'll be entertaining questions about it. So please do pay attention, all right. Now, when it comes to trading, all right, there are a couple of important things. One of those things is to be able to understand and identify what the overall direction of the market is, all right. The second, next most important thing is to be able to understand the phase that the market is in at that moment in time. All right, because there are three phases of the market. There's an impulse phase, there's a retracement phase, there is a compression phase or an accumulation phase or a ranging phase. All right. So you need to be able to know what the overall direction is and the phase of the market before you then go to bother about, whether you have an entry or an exit. So what we're going to be doing we're starting with Euro USD as usual. All right. We come here. This is our line chart. Yes, that's a pivot zone. All right. So we have a pivot zone set. All right. We go to the candlestick chart, zoom in, and you can see that price is currently trading within the pivot zone. All right. And not only is price trading within the pivot zone, all right, if you look at the stochastics indicator here, you see that the stochastics indicator is showing us that the market is already overbought. All right. And then what happens when the market is overbought? Usually, when the market is overbought, the market begins to look for an opportunity to reverse. All right. It doesn't mean that, oh, as soon as it is overbought, it starts to reverse and then sell. All right. But what it means is that when market is overbought, all right, from the oscillators, once it's overbought from the oscillators, it means that market begins to look for and search for an opportunity, an avenue, all right, to reverse. Okay. So what you want to do is to go and look for that avenue, all right, look for a way to, if I was the market, what will be my reason for reversing? Right, let me show you an example. Here, all right, we can see that the oscillator was showing that the market was overbought. All right. You can see at this point, the market was overbought. The market begin to drop directly, almost. But if you go to the 4 hours time frame, you'll be able to get a clearer picture of what exactly happened. All right. So, where is that? Where's that? Hold on. Yeah. So let's go to the 4 hours. We're looking for, yes, this is that point. All right. So what are we looking for? We're looking for an avenue to take an entry, all right, a sell entry from here. So let us look at what we had next. After all of that movement, the reversal was confirmed when price broke below this trend line, all right, and then retested the supply zone. And you can see that with this, you would have gotten a very, very nice, trade entry, all right, all the way down. Do you guys see that? So now that the same thing is happening, all right, the market is overbought. We're right within a pivot zone. All right, what do? We can come to the 4 hours time frame or also the 1 hour time frame, whichever. And then you can identify this trend line. All right. And identify this trend line. And what are we looking for? What are we waiting for? We're waiting for the markets to break below this trend line. All right. Then retest this trend line and the supply zone. before we get what? A major drop. Now, already, if you're familiar with stochastics, you will know that there's something called um, divergence convergence, all right? And you can see that we already have that. You guys see this? So we already have a divergence on the stochastics from the 4 hours time frame, which means that, the likelihood of this continuing bearish is very high. All right, it's very high. Does this make sense? Are you guys with me, please? If you're with me, can you please drop a reaction? Just drop a reaction, whether it's an emoji or a word or something. Just let me know that you guys are clear on this that I've explained so far. Let's go, let's go, let's go, guys. Let's go, guys. Let's go, guys. Keep it coming. What's the divergence? Let's leave that here for another day. All right, let's leave that for another day. But the rough idea behind the divergence is we're getting higher highs on price. All right, higher highs on the price chart. We're getting lower highs on the oscillator. Right, higher highs on price, lower highs on the oscillator. So that's typically what the divergence is. All right, so what does this tell me about Euro USD? We're expecting a bearish week. All right, but I think that it would be expedient for me to, see price break this low first. All right, just to be safer. Why? Because there's a fair value gap here before this demand zone, meaning that this demand zone is a bit stronger than the average demand zone. Okay, so what do I want to do? I want to see price break below this low, then come back for a retest, and that would be my entry. That would be the point where I shoot my shot. Do we get it now? All right, beautiful. So that is for Euro USD. All right, which means that if price gets to this demand zone and it makes a bounce, I am still going to have to wait. I'm still going to have to wait because that low must be broken before I confirm that yes, it's time to sell. Remember, we are within the pivot zone on the daily time frame. Do you get it now? All right, beautiful, Yasin. Thank you. So next we'll look at GBP USD. All right, GBP USD. So we'll start as usual from the daily time frame. Want to check where's our line chart. Want to check for our pivots. Right, that's our pivot zone on the daily time frame. We go back to the candlestick chart. We can zoom in. Let's insert our oscillator. So our oscillator is also overbought here. Can you see it? It's overbought here, and then price is within the daily time frame pivot. So what do? We go to the 4 hours time frame, and we want to look for the trend line that has to be broken, all right, in order for our analysis to be validated. That's the trend line. All right, that's the trend line. So what do we want to see here right now? Let's go to the 4 hours time frame. Okay, let's wait with the 1 hour so that it will be clearer. All right, so what do we want to see is we want to see a break below this low. All right, I want to see a break below this low, and then a possible retest. All right, so that we can join the ride. Augustine Kialo, you're asking what is a pivot zone? To be honest, it's a bit tougher to explain. All right, it's quite difficult to explain. So I would advise that you possibly just follow what I have on my screen. All right. If it's something you're open to learning, all right, I can find a way to send you some assistance, some resources that can help. All right. But what I call a pivot zone is simply a region of action, all right, on the on the daily time frame. It's like a pivot, a place that's been tested both as support and as resistance over time. All right. Sharif is asking which one is the best for gauging market divergence, oscillator or RSI? Well, stochastics oscillator is good, RSI is good, MACD is good. What makes the difference is in the longevity. All right, MACD will show you divergence over a wider period or a larger range. All right, stochastics will show you over a shorter period. The same thing with the RSI. So I don't think you have to necessarily choose between all of this. All right. So Elijah is asking, how do I identify FVG? And FVG is a fair value gap. All right, and it's simply defined by you identifying an area where there was a gap in fair value. All right, what does that mean? It means that for a period of time in the market, all right, it's either there was total control by the buyers or total control by the sellers, which is usually um please, this young man talking about uh the young man backing in the comment section. I would appreciate that you refrain from doing that. So like I was saying, all right, so this is a fair value gap. All right, the way a fair value gap manifests on the chart is that you have a very big bodied candle. All right, where the wick of the previous candle, barely touched the body. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you this. All right, so yeah, this is the big body candle on GBP USD 1 hour time frame. You can see that this particular area, this particular region of that candlestick that I marked, all right, has not yet been covered by any wick, all right, has not been touched by any other kind of price action. Okay, so that is what we call a fair value gap. There are deeper explanations for it, but today is not the day that I am going to, go into all of that. Okay, Emmanuel, sorry about that. All right, so let's go on, let's go on, let's go on. So the next commodity we're looking at is gold. All right, gold line chart. Okay, now remember I've told you guys many times that gold is currently trading at an all-time high. So we have no reference points for our pivot. You're welcome, Yasin. So uh, gold is currently at an all-time high. So there's no reference point to use for support and resistance or a pivot region. All right. So what does that tell us? It means that we are left with making reference to a previous area of support. All right. We need to see that previous area of support get broken. All right, as a confirmation for our entry. So this was the last daily time frame demand zone, and it's a demand zone because the price action that came to break above this previous high. All right, the price action that broke above this previous high originated from that low. All right, you can see this low gave us the price action that broke above this previous high. So, and this was the last candle, all right, at the bottom of that move. So that was the move. That's generally the candle that initiated the bullish move. All right. So from there, what do? We come to the 4 hours time frame. We zoom out. And then where's my trend line? This is my trend line. All right. That's my trend line that I'm hoping that price would get a break. All right. Now, there's a rule about trend lines that a lot of people do not know. So when they draw trend lines, they usually end up getting burned, all right, because their trend lines do not hold. All right, their trend lines are so weak that, you know, even the slightest volatility could break through their trend line. All right, so if you want to draw stronger trend lines, it's important that you draw the trend lines from lows or highs that initiated a break of structure. Or, in other words, lows or highs that created a demand or supply zone. All right, so you want to connect lows or highs that have a demand or supply zone. So if price is breaking such a trend line, it means that price has also had to break through an area of demand and supply. All right, and the only reason why price will be able to break through such a strong region would be that there is heavy volatility, there's good liquidity behind that move. All right. So if you want to draw stronger trend lines, that's the cheat code. Okay. So this is gold. All right. We have our daily time frame demand zone. We have our trend line on the 4 hours time frame. What do we now wait for if we're looking for opportunities to sell gold? All right. So let's go to the daily time frame. I want to see our oscillator, which is the stochastics oscillator. All right. On the daily time frame, stochastic is overbought. Generally, two lows and highs are enough to make a trend line. All right. Usually, the third one is what you use as your confirmation for entry. All right. You usually are expected to enter from the third one because by the time the trend line is getting tested the fourth time, it's already weaker. All right. By the fourth trial, it's already weaker. Fifth is already a lot weaker. Right. So the optimal time to utilize a trend line is when it is touching for the third time. And price is touching the trend line for the third time. That's another cheat code that I think that you guys need. All right, so we have stochastics overbought on the daily time frame, which means that on the lower time frame, price is going to be looking for an opportunity to reverse. All right. Does it mean it is going to reverse immediately? No. But it means that price is going to be on the lookout, scouting for opportunities for a reversal. All right. So on our own part, how do we identify that there has been a reversal, which is an important question. So for me, I think that this is what is likely going to happen. Gold will move higher, all right, in order to break above this high, all right, in order to break above this high and create a demand zone here. All right, price is likely going to do that. And then after creating the demand zone, we're then going to get an impulse that will take out that demand zone and the trend line as well. All right. And then following that, we get a retest. We get a retest and then the drop. So since we know that on the daily time frame, gold is going to be looking for opportunities to reverse, all right, it means that what we're going to do next is also wait for that opportunity to present itself so that we can follow price's general direction. Does it make sense? Does it connect? Dasen, you're welcome. If what I've explained so far, if everything we've done so far, if it's clear, you're enjoying it, you love it, please drop reactions. All right. I want to see reactions in the comment section. I want to know that you guys are enjoying, you're loving what we're doing here right now. And peradventure, if you do not have an FBS account with us yet, you sincerely do not know what you're missing. All right. So there's a link in the chat box right now. If you do not have an FBS account, you can click that link, go right now, create your FBS account, and I can assure you that you're going to love every bit of what we offer you, because at FBS, we are always looking out for your best interest and bringing you the most valuable things that we know you're going to need for your trading journey. All right, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. It's good to see that we're making progress. Thank you, guys. Patricia, it's lovely to have you here. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, beautiful. Thank you, guys, for the reactions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so up next, I don't know if we should do AUD USD or just jump to USD JPY because someone requested it. All right, beautiful. That's an amazing observation. I am using TikTok. Sorry, that's what I'm seeing from here. It says USD has been weakening, because September, there's a prediction, all right, that there's going to be rate cut in the month of September. All right, so the sentiment is bullish fundamentally, all right, on Euro USD and all these other pairs against the USD, which is nice. Albeit, all right, if you have the opportunity to access a DXY chart, all right, if you have access to a DXY chart, go do your analysis on that DXY chart and you will realize that price is coming close, very close to let me see. I'm sorry I can't show my DXY chart on the stream at the moment. But if you have a DXY chart, you can go to the weekly time frame on that chart, all right, and then you realize that there's an SBR pattern, a sweep break retest pattern on the weekly time frame, where price is currently approaching the demand zone of that SBR pattern. All right, price is currently approaching the demand zone, and it's currently resting around the 88% of the Fibonacci. All right, we're currently around the 88% of the Fibonacci retracement. What does that tell us? It tells us that there's a likelihood of something happening right now. You get it now? Oshualale Sharif, that question you have is a deep fundamental question. You want to know what happens when there's a rate cut. That question does not have a direct answer, to be very honest. It doesn't have a direct answer because there are a lot of other factors to consider. Sometimes the rate is cut where people expect the currency to weaken, all right? But because the interest rates that were cut, all right, is coming in together with other factors like the employment rate, all right, coming in with other factors like average wages, all right, other factors like the CPI, the PPI. So all of these things are things that it's like a puzzle, all right. So the interest rate is just one piece of the puzzle. You get it now? And if I want to explain that on this call right now, we're going to take a lot of time. All right, Miracle Lines Media says it's good watching from Uganda. Thank you so much for joining from Uganda. So let's do USD JPY. All right, this is USD JPY. Let's move over to the line chart. All right, that looks like a good pivot zone. Solomon wants me to do AUD USD. All right. I think we'll do that. Yeah, so I am using TikTok. This is where your patience as a trader comes in. All right, because we are not reacting preemptively. All right, we are people who we are not people who are predicting the market. We are people who want to react. All right, want to be able to react to what the market is doing. All right, so we are not trying to say, oh no, this is what the market is supposed to do based on my analysis. No, we're simply saying I have an analysis that if the market gives me what I need to see to confirm my analysis, then I will take a trade. And if the market does not show me what I need to see as a confirmation for my analysis, then I'm going to stay away and give it some time. All right, until I'm able to analyze again and see what I need to see as a confirmation of my sentiment. Does that make sense? All right, so this is USD JPY. Somehow, this was our demand zone. Price has reacted from it already. Quickly, sorry, let me put in the. All right, so this is the stochastic oscillator. Now, this is where it gets weird. And I want you guys to see what I'm showing you right now. This is the previous low on the stochastic. But this is where price, this is where the current movement, the current point of the stochastic is. All right. But if you compare it with where this previous low is and where this is at the moment, you see that there's an issue. All right. Let me explain. From price, you can see that the current low is around 76%. It's just 76% of the previous swing. But if you do the same thing on the stochastics, you see that this is just barely around 38.2. What does this mean? It means that there's a high likelihood, right? There's a very, very high likelihood that price does something weird. Which is what? There's a high likelihood that price will drop a lot lower, all right? Come here to match this stochastic becoming oversold. All right, to match this stochastic becoming oversold. And then we can start looking for opportunities for a buy. How do I confirm? Let's go to the 4 hours time frame and check. From this low, there was a break of structure, as you can see. All right. We also have another low here that broke structure. Yeah, so this would be my trend line. All right, which means that before I can validate USD JPY for a buy, Miracle Lines Media, there's a protocol for requesting analysis on this call. All right. If you are one of my frequent viewers, you can please help me informing what the protocol is. So before I trade USD JPY for a buy, all right, I want to see price. I want to see price destroy this eye. All right. I want to see price destroy this eye. Meaning that if a move does not break above this, to come back for the retest. All right. Then there is no buy. We are still going to be following the current sentiment, which is that the market is bearish. Can somebody please help me educate Miracle Lines Media on how we, how we request? Thank you very much, Mr. Kudus. So when you want to make a request, there's a magic word that makes your request valid. All right. So if there's no please in front of it, I am not obliged to respond. Pardon me, I'm an African and I'm a bit petty in that manner. Okay. So that's my sentiment on USD JPY. All right. So price is most likely going to keep going bearish. All right. This is USD JPY. It's most likely going to keep going bearish unless we're able to break above this high. All right. Then retest and then we keep moving. Okay. So I think that's clear enough. So let's go to AUD USD. All right. Line chart. Zoom out. Yeah, that works. Okay, let's go back to candlesticks. Start the stochastics. All right, so prices are very close to a pivot region. All right, or we dare say it's already at that pivot region. All right, and the stochastics is already overbought. All right. Now, does it mean that because the stochastics is overbought, the next thing is that it's going to start selling right now? No. Let me show you an example of what I mean by no. All right. This is the daily time frame. Stochastics was already overbought at this point, which is this region. All right. So if we go to the 4 hours time frame, let me just quickly show. On the 4 hours time frame, you realize that there was a trend line that didn't get broken. All right. This was the original trend line. Why? Because this low gave us a break above this high. This low gave us the break above this high. All right. So what price needed to do was to create a new trend line by breaking above this high. All right. And it was at that point that we got this particular trend line. All right. And when we got that trend line, you discover that price came back for a retest of the supply zone. All right. And then that was when we had this drop. You see that now? You guys get it now? So now that the same thing is happening, this is overbought. All right. We want to avoid any unpleasant scenarios. So what do? 4 hours time frame, we look for trend line. Because if you look closely here, you'd see that there's a fair value gap. All right. There's a fair value gap with a demand zone, which means that price could literally enter into this fair value gap and the demand zone and then start going bullish. Very possible. All right. So what do we want to see before we confirm the bearish sentiment? We want to see price break below this low. All right, break below this low. And then we get the retest, which is what we will then trade. Does it make sense? which means that price could as well just come into maybe this region and then refuse to go lower. Do we get it, please? Yeah, so that is AUD USD from my own from my point of view. All right. So I think someone made requests for hold on. I'm checking. USD JPY done. Uh um let me see. GBP CHF and NZD CHF. Okay. I'm going to be running analysis on both at the same time. Okay. Let's go back to GBP CHF. All right. So overbought stochastics. All right. This is an interesting one. We're getting a convergence. All right. We're getting a convergence of eyes from the oscillator, meaning that this is expected to play out. Right. And then on the 1 hour time frame, this low gave us a break above this eye. Right. This low gave us a break above this eye. Yes. And then this low gave us a break above this eye. So that's our trend line. There's a demand zone right here. All right. Which means that if price fails to, rebounds from this demand zone, what we would get would be a break so that price can retest. All right. And then drop. Josephat, you're welcome. Solomon, you're welcome. All right. So this is NZDCHF. Yeah, daily time frame, we have that divergence. Let me see. Do we have anything on the 4 hours? Yes, we do. Convergence on the daily, divergence on the 4 hours. So I think that, yeah, NZDCHF is bearish. I think so. GC Let's see. Yes, this is also looking quite sweet, right? Um, let me see. NZDCHF had a divergence, the convergence on the higher time frame, but GBPCHF does not. All right. However, you can see that it's over. The stochastics already overbought. All right, and there's a likelihood that this rises, maybe above this or creates its own divergence or convergence. But let's check the 4 hours time frame. We're looking for reasons. All right, we're looking for reasons that would justify a reversal. All right, as it stands now, there's been no recent break of structure, meaning this was the last major demand zone, which is weird, right? Very weird. So what do I think will happen? I think that GBPCHF is going to first of all try to create a new high, all right? And in creating a new high, it's going to give us room to be able to get our trend line, all right? So when it creates a new high, we use the low that created that higher high to plot our trend line, and then we wait to see if price breaks that, so that we wait for the retest, right? And then we sail home free. Yeah, so that's GBP CHF, NZD CHF, GBP CHF. All right. Tabiso Michael requested for GBP NZD. Don't have that yet. Don't have to add it. Okay, daily time frame, line chart. Okay, candlesticks. All right, GBP NZD. Mm, this low was broken. There's no current break below this low, which is interesting, which means that we probably need to search. Um, okay, this low was broken. This low has not yet been broken. All right, which means we could have our trend line this way. All right, all right, that's a triangle pattern. So we could see this, right? Overall sentiment would be bullish. as confirmed by the correlation of NZD and GBP, NZD CHF and GBP CHF. All right, so this is what we have here. All right, I think it's going to go bullish. All right, but all things being equal, we'll wait for the confirmation. Timothy Ezeguna, you can always reach out to me on Instagram, Adetola Freeman. That's the name. Warm Classics, lovely, lovely. You're welcome, big man. Uh, Stitch Beats, sorry, your request is a bit late, but not just that. There's also a pattern for requesting analysis. All right, the pattern for requesting analysis. So all right, so let's see. So Timothy, like I said, you can always reach out on Instagram. We'll talk about that. Tabiso Michael, thank you kindly. You're welcome. So I think Tabiso made requests for GJ. I think, yeah, I think someone made a request for GBP JPY. So we're gonna round up. We're gonna round up with that, all right? Because it's been about an hour since we started the stream. I really do need to get back to the market. The market is calling me. Right, so prices reacted from that pivot zone with uh, this demand zone being the origin of the push. And then currently, we are seeing that prices consolidating a bit. And see that price is in a range. Um, Let me insert this. Okay, so now this is where it gets interesting. You can see that price is in a range, but the oscillator here is showing that price is about to be overbought, right? Price is almost overbought on the is already overbought, all right, on the stochastic oscillator, all right, which means that price will be looking for an avenue to reverse, all right, and come back, you know, towards the demand zone. So what do? We go to the lower time frame as usual, and then we try to look for reasons why that could work or reasons why that might happen. Okay, yes, interestingly, we've got this on the 4 hours time frame, which means that GJ should still be bullish, right? GBP JPY should still be bullish. Yeah, should still be bullish. And then at the end of the day, and we can then look at the low that was created and then check, all right, for a break of structure, break of trend line. But I think GJ overall is still bullish right now because of the um, divergence that I just saw on the 4 hours time frame. All right, do we get it? So this divergence on the 4 hour time frame tells me that price still wants to keep going higher. All right, let me zoom in. I showed the settings in the beginning. It's 1433. I use a 1433 stochastic. Yeah, Banatex Farm, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so guys, this is about how far we're going to be going today. All right, this is about how far we're going to be going today. I'm really, really grateful for you know uh having you guys on this call with me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for um it's been 1 hour of immense value. So thank you for joining me today. As usual, please do note that if you do not have an FBS account, there's a link in the description. You can click on that link to create your FBS account right now and benefit from all of the wonderful goodies that we have for our clients. All right. And at the same time, do note that every Monday like this, we have a session where we look through the markets, we learn a bit, we laugh a lot. All right. We have a lot of fun looking at the markets together. So, having said that, thank you so much, guys, for your audience once again. God bless you and do have a fantastic and profitable trading week. God bless you. Adetola Freeman signing out.